The awakening of the silent mind. What if everything you've ever needed was already inside you dormant, waiting to be ignited? Imagine waking up tomorrow, not as a reaction to your alarm, not as a slave to schedules or screens, but as the chosen, architect of a life worth living. A life that doesn't begin with noise, but with stillness. A life where your very first breath is a declaration. I am not here to survive. I am here to rise. Now ask yourself, what if you've been asleep while thinking you were awake? We often move through life unaware that we're following scripts written by fear, expectations, and invisible hands. How many of your thoughts are truly yours? How much of your life has been a performance? This isn't about shame. It's about awareness. Because the moment you become aware is the moment you begin. The first battle of the day isn't against traffic, your inbox, or your debts. It's against silence. Not the peaceful kind, but the inner void. That hollow whisper that tells you, just one more day like yesterday. But you don't want yesterday. You want change. You want fire. And that fire begins with intention. Your mind, when left untrained, is like a wild animal. It reacts, it fears, it flees. But when trained, it becomes a force so focused it can bend reality. And training begins in the first 5 minutes of your day. Not by accident, not by habit, but by sacred design. In those 5 minutes, you choose your identity. Are you the version of you that surrenders to fear? Or the version who commands the day with vision, purpose, and authority? Here's the truth no one teaches. You are not your thoughts. You are what you decide to believe. Thoughts appear. Doubts whisper. But true belief is chosen, created, rehearsed, and repeated. And so begins the reprogramming. The modern world is starving for men and women who know who they are before the world tells them. Before the comments, the likes, the noise. The world doesn't need more followers. It needs more builders, those who rise early, not to grind, but to create. Who choose silence to hear their calling. Who choose solitude to sharpen their inner compass. This is why the first 10 minutes of your morning are not optional. They are sacred, non-negotiable, because how you begin is how you build. And if you begin by reacting, you build a life of reaction. But if you begin with purpose, you build a life by design. Let's call this what it is, spiritual warfare. Because every day you don't choose your identity, the world will choose it for you. And the world never dreams big for you. It dreams safe. It dreams small. But the voice inside you, the whisper that refuses to die, that voice is the truth. And it's waiting for your permission to speak louder than your doubt. We've been conditioned to chase validation, approval, applause. But the man who leads doesn't chase. He builds, in silence, in shadow. And his strength isn't loud. It's anchored. It's in the way he speaks to himself before anyone else can speak to him. It's in the way he prepares when no one's watching. It's in the way he rises not for the world, but for the mission within. Your mind is fertile. Whatever you plant, there will grow. Plant passivity, you get paralysis. Plant purpose, you get power. But planting is not enough. You must water. You must tend. Every single morning, every single night. And that's where most people fail, not because they're weak, but because they underestimate repetition. They want revelation, not discipline. They want lightning, not the grind of showing up. But greatness has no shortcuts. It's earned in silence. It's built when the world is asleep. And it begins the moment you decide, I will no longer live on autopilot. The world celebrates outcomes. But the elite, they celebrate rituals, the invisible work, the unshared struggle. Because they know discipline is destiny. So ask yourself, what ritual defines your mornings? Is it the scroll or the silence? Is it the snooze or the stand-up? Is it the escape or the engagement? This is your invitation to reset your life. Not next year, not next week, tomorrow morning. Not through motivation, but through decision. You don't need more time. You need more intention. The man who masters his morning doesn't need the world's permission, because his fire is self-lit, his rhythm is self-governed, and his vision, unshakable. When you rise tomorrow, don't ask the world who you are. Tell it. The invisible force of clarity. Clarity is not a luxury, it is a lifeline. Most people don't fail because they're incapable. They fail because they're undecided. They wake up not knowing what they're chasing. Their minds scatter like leaves in the wind, blown by comparison, doubt, distractions. They want to be rich, loved, respected, peaceful, admired all at once. But the mind doesn't respond to confusion. It responds to command. Let this be your new foundation. You must choose one aim, one purpose, one fire. Not someday, not eventually. Now. The world is full of people dabbling in everything and mastering nothing. Not because they're lazy, but because they fear commitment. They fear that by choosing one thing, they'll lose every other. But here's the truth. Only when you choose one thing do all things become possible. Clarity is magnetic. When you move with precision, you pull the right people, the right situations, the right momentum toward you. But when you move with vagueness, you repel destiny. So what is it? What is the one vision that burns in you, even when you're exhausted? The one that's followed you for years, whispered through heartbreaks and silent prayers. Name it, define it, claim it, write it down as if your future depends on it, because it does. Put it where your eyes can't avoid it, on your mirror, your wall, your phone. Speak it aloud every morning until your voice stops trembling, until it becomes your tone, your posture, your presence. When your aim is clear, doubt has no room to live. There is no time for hesitation when the mission is urgent. And your mission is urgently waiting for you to act like you've already been chosen. The universe doesn't reward wishful thinking. It rewards aligned action, not random action, not desperate action. Aligned, focused, relentless. The man who walks in clarity doesn't walk fast. He walks with intention. And he gets further than those who run in circles. Look back on your life. How much time have you spent circling around decisions? How many dreams did you delay? Not because you didn't believe, but because you never committed. Commitment is clarity in motion. And clarity doesn't beg for approval. It doesn't explain itself to doubters. It simply moves. Now think about the greats: Edison, Carnegie, Ford. They were not the smartest in the room, but they were the most decisive. They didn't wait to feel ready. They decided, and their decision made them ready. Decision comes first. Confidence follows. And success chases those who walk in certainty. But let's be clear. Clarity is not about being perfect. It's about being aligned. You may still stumble. You may still get tired. But you won't wander. And when you no longer wander, you become unstoppable. So what is it that you're willing to suffer for? What are you willing to sacrifice sleep, comfort, and temporary pleasure to achieve? Because clarity always has a cost. And if you're not paying that cost daily, you don't really want it. You only like the idea of it. But those who walk in truth know clarity is pain before it becomes power. And yes, it will cost you distractions. It will cost you some relationships. It will cost you the need to be liked by everyone. But what you gain your soul. You gain your identity. You gain peace that cannot be faked. Clarity is not built in the noise. It is born in silence. In those quiet, sacred moments when you sit alone and ask yourself the hard questions. Who am I becoming? Why does this matter? What would I pursue even if I failed? These are the questions that cut through the fog. And when the fog lifts, the vision sharpens. You don't need more answers. You need a better question. And then you need to decide not tomorrow, not when it's comfortable, but now while your heart is still beating with possibility. The man who decides is dangerous, because once his aim is fixed, he no longer needs motivation. He has momentum. And momentum is built in micro-decisions. Wake up or snooze? Create or consume? Lead or follow? Each choice is a brick. And over time, those bricks build an unshakable life. But you must begin. And you must begin with clarity. Because until you choose your aim, you will be a servant to circumstance. And you were never born to be a servant. You were born to reign. The unbreakable power of repetition. There's a moment in every person's life when they come face to face with the seemingly endless loop of repetition. The same alarm, the same breakfast, the same tasks, the same battles inside their own mind. For some, this monotony becomes unbearable, a prison. But for others, repetition becomes a forge, a sacred furnace where identity is purified, strength is molded, and excellence is quietly built. This is where the real separation happens, not between the talented and the average, not between the lucky and the forgotten, but between those who curse repetition and those who revere it. When the world isn't watching, when no applause is echoing through the halls, and when no hand is there to pat your back, what remains? Routine, practice, repetition. And it's in this space of silence and obscurity that the invisible giants are formed. They're not chasing intensity. They're mastering consistency. They don't rise once in a burst of glory and fade away. They return again and again to the same place, to the same disciplines, to the same rituals, with sacred commitment. This is not because they enjoy the repetition. It's because they understand what it produces. Think of a sculptor chipping away at the same block of stone day after day. The world sees no progress. It looks the same, feels the same. But deep within that stone, something magnificent is waiting, and only repetition will uncover it. Each strike is a whisper of intention. Each movement, a declaration of patience. Each day, a vote for the person you're becoming. And eventually, the masterpiece reveals itself, not because of force or speed, but because of unwavering rhythm. In a world addicted to novelty, repetition is rebellion. It's defiance against the dopamine-driven cycles of modern life. It's the refusal to quit simply because something feels boring. It's the silent art of becoming so good, so refined, so automatic that the results are inevitable. You no longer rise and fall based on emotion. You don't chase motivation. You create momentum. You don't pray for discipline. You live inside it. This is where repetition becomes power. Not just mental power, but spiritual muscle memory. A soul that no longer needs to be convinced to do what is right, because it has been conditioned to walk in truth, no matter the weather. The greatest leaders, the strongest warriors, the most peaceful monks, all are disciples of repetition. They know that the mind doesn't change overnight. The heart doesn't heal in a week. The body doesn't transform through inspiration alone. It, single quotes, as the daily act of returning. Even when you don't feel like it, it's showing up to prayer, to training, to meditation, to your calling again and again, until it becomes who you are. Because true transformation is not dramatic. It's often invisible, boring, quiet, but it is always sacred. The man who wins is not the one who works hardest once. It's the one who returns again, and again, and again, until what once took force now flows without friction. And one day, without even noticing it, you become the kind of person who does hard things without hesitation. You become someone who doesn't need hype or approval because your identity has been forged in private. You've become unstoppable, not because you moved fast ... but because you never stopped moving. This is the power of repetition. And in a world that's sprinting toward noise, you walk slowly but steadily into mastery. You're not looking for applause. You're looking for alignment. And repetition is your rhythm, guardian of the mind. The gate of Einfeld's way. What if I told you that the greatest battlefield is not out there, in the world, but in your own head? Each day, you are exposed to an endless stream of opinions, suggestions, judgments, noise. Family, friends, strangers, social media, TV, podcasts, YouTube, news. Everyone and everything is fighting for a place inside your mind. And here's the catch. Whatever gets in starts shaping your thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and eventually, your identity. But there's something most people don't realize. You are the only gatekeeper. There is a gate to your mind. And you, and only you, get to decide what enters and what is refused. But here's the problem. Most people leave the gate wide open. They absorb negativity without question. They allow toxic opinions to settle in. They feed on gossip, criticism, fear-based news, and wonder why they feel lost, anxious, insecure. The mind, like a garden, becomes what you allow to be planted. You wouldn't allow someone to walk into your house and dump garbage all over your living room, would you? So why allow it in your mind? 1. The hidden power of selective input. If you want to transform your life, you must begin by transforming the inputs. What you hear, what you see, who you spend time with, this becomes your inner atmosphere. Human brain is like fertile soil. If you plant seeds of courage, you'll grow confidence. If you plant seeds of doubt, you'll harvest fear. If you allow weeds, distractions, chaos, gossip, your inner peace will rot. This is not about living in a bubble, isolated from the world. It's about becoming ruthlessly intentional with what you consume. Control the diet of your mind. Same way you control the diet of your body. You wouldn't drink poison, right? Then why drink in toxic thoughts, lies, and doubt from people who haven't built anything with their lives? Protect your focus like it's sacred, because it is. 2. Who is speaking into your life? Many people allow voices into their lives just because they're familiar, not because they're qualified. Just because someone is your friend, family member, or coworker doesn't mean they should have access to your decision-making center. Stop granting influence to unqualified voices. You have to ask yourself, is this person speaking from experience or opinion? Are they encouraging my growth or feeding my fear? Do they challenge me to rise or convince me to settle? You need a spiritual filter, a mindset gatekeeper. Every time you hear a message, a piece of advice, an opinion, test it. Does it align with your purpose, your vision, your mission? If not, throw it out. Be firm, even if it feels uncomfortable. Your future is too important to be shaped by people who have no idea where they're going themselves. 3. The shield of inner silence. The most powerful people in history had something in common. They all mastered the art. Inner silence. They weren't reactive. They weren't loud. They weren't impulsive. They were strategic, composed, rooted. The one who controls their inner world rules the outer one. When you're silent inside, you can hear things others miss. You catch the lies. You discern the truth. You act instead of reacting. Silence is not weakness. Silence is strategy. It's the space where you hear God's whispers. It's where your intuition sharpens. It's where divine timing becomes clear. The reason so many people feel confused is because their minds are overcrowded. Too much noise, too many opinions, and not enough inner space to receive wisdom. Silence is your protection. your filter, your weapon. 4. Sacred boundaries and spiritual warfare. Sometimes, protecting your mind means protecting your space. Set boundaries not because you hate others, but because you love your peace. Set limits on who gets access to you, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. And yes, this might offend some people. That's okay. The people who truly support your journey won't take offense to your growth. The ones who do, they were never aligned with your mission in the first place. You are in spiritual warfare every single day. This isn't about paranoia. It's about awareness. Your mind is the command center of your destiny, and the enemy knows it. That's why distraction, confusion, laziness, and emotional chaos are his favorite weapons. But you are not weak. You are not passive. You are not a victim. You are the guardian of your own mind. And from now on, nothing enters unless it serves your purpose. Stand watch. Stay alert. And protect your inner temple like your future depends on it, because it does. Commander of your own life, you are not a passenger on this journey. You are the commander. Every thought you allow, every word you speak, every action you take is an order sent to the unseen forces shaping your reality. Leadership starts within. Before you can lead others, you must lead yourself with unwavering authority. What does it mean to command your life? It means standing firm when fear whispers to flee. It means choosing courage over comfort, day after day. It means holding your ground when the storm of doubt tries to wash you away. The commander doesn't wait for the perfect moment. He doesn't wait for motivation to arrive like a guest. He builds his own motivation brick by brick with discipline and repetition. Leadership is a habit. It is forged in the quiet moments when no one is watching. It's in the decision to rise before dawn, to speak your truth, to keep your promises to yourself. Your mind is your army. Your beliefs are your weapons. Your purpose is the flag you carry into battle. When you command your own life, you don't seek permission. You don't look for validation. You don't negotiate with fear. You simply act with confidence, with clarity, with conviction. And the world responds. Doors open. Paths appear. People align. Because the universe respects a man or woman who stands as a sovereign, ruler of their inner kingdom. Rewriting destiny with WR's words are not just sounds. They are seeds planted deep within the fertile soil of your mind. Each word you speak waters the garden of your future. Speak words of power. Speak words of faith. Speak words that build a fortress around your dreams. Repetition is not a chore. It is the law of creation. As you repeat your purpose daily, you rewrite the script of your life. You overwrite the lies you once believed. You erase the limits others placed on you. You become the story you tell yourself. Remember this. Your subconscious mind does not question. It does not debate. It obeys. Feed it with faith. Feed it with strength. Feed it with the unwavering certainty that your destiny is yours to command. This is how men and women become legends. Not through luck, not through talent alone, but through the relentless power of words. Words that summon courage when fear threatens. Words that summon vision when confusion clouds. Words that summon strength when weakness tries to take hold. Now is the time to speak. Speak boldly. Speak clearly. Speak with the authority of a king or queen, commanding their realm. Your destiny awaits, and it listens closely to the words you choose to speak today.